So now inside of the large 8 column, what we're going to do is put our input tags. So we start with the input type will be text. Let me just put the attributes each on new line. So we've got type text, then name will be item. Then we are going to have placeholder item. And we can close this input tag. The next column will have another input type. And again, type will be text this time. You can put numeric obviously here as well if you want to, but I'm going to leave it as text. Then we have name quantity, so QTY, and placeholder. For placeholder, we're going to have QTY/weight. And we can close this input tag as well. If I scroll up a little bit now to the last third column, and here we're going to have select. Again, I'm going to put attributes on new lines. This one will have just name type, and then we can close this select. In between, we're going to have option with the value set to null. And for the time being, I'm just going to put question mark here, because we're going to be replacing all these later on with the relevant Angular placeholders. So this is our form, not quite completed yet. So after the closing row tag, this is the column, this is the row. If we just shift it so that I can actually easily see where I am, we're going to create another div with the class row, and again column inside of this. So div class column, and inside of this column, what I'm going to do is start with the div class FLR for float right. We haven't got this class yet. We will create all these classes in just a moment. And we're going to start with the button type button, and we're going for class small button primary. And then inside of this button, we are going to have I with the class fa print. This is where our font awesome comes into place, basically. All these fa hyphen, and then whatever icon we want to use comes from font awesome. Okay, and after this closing I tag, space, and then print list. So this is our first button. Let's now copy this button. Actually, I'm going to put again attributes on new lines so we can see everything a little bit better. And if I scroll up again, if we copy this entire button, paste it underneath, the second button will be for clear completed. We are going to change the class from primary to alert here. So it's going to be this red color, and rather than print icon, we want to have fa-time. So it's gonna give us this cross icon, and rather than print list, obviously it's going to be clear completed. So this is the first section, which will be floating to the right, as you can see here. The next one will simply be buttons. I'm just going to copy what paste what I've copied earlier. And this time, this type will be submit. Class will be small button without primary or anything like that here. And then we have hyphen plus. So it's got plus icon basically, and then the keyword at. And again, if we copy this button and paste it underneath, if I scroll up a little bit, it's going to be button as well, but we're going to also add class secondary to obviously change the color. And rather than FA plus, we're going to have FA bun. And rather than at, we're going to have clear entry. Now, if we save the file now and preview everything in our browser, now one problem we're going to have, obviously this FLR class doesn't exist yet, so buttons will not float to the right. But these two buttons, once we've created this class in our CSS, will float to the right. But as you can see, this is the 80% column, this first field, is inside of this 80% column, which was large -8. This one, the second one, is inside of the 20% column, which is large 2, and obviously select is also inside of the 20% large 8. Now look what happens when I'm resizing the window. You'll see that as long as we are on a large screen, then we have everything in line, obviously 80, 20, 20%. But once we get to the medium screen resolution, everything goes on its own line, basically. So this is how it's going to work on mobile devices, basically. As you can see, if we resize it to whatever dimension we want, on mobile devices, we're still going to have, obviously, each item on a new line. Buttons will be slightly different, but we'll get to this in just a moment. So this is the basic structure of, obviously, of our form. Let's move to the next video and create our custom styling.